I wish I had like this profound answer that, I was in Zen and I just want to take some time off, which was rubbish because I think all the offers I was getting was, I don't want to say rubbish, but I think it was a film that I was meant to do. Actually, I just realized this because people have asked me this question so many times. There was a film I was meant to do, and towards the end, it just sort of something happened. They went with somebody else, so it felt really weird initially. I was just like, wow, I've never had that before. But then I like to think that whatever happens for the best. So I said whatever, and as luck would have it, the film tanked. So I was like, yay! Which film? I will not tell you what film that is because it's not fair to them. But I had a lovely chat with the director, and he felt so bad. It was really sweet. He's like, I'm so sorry that this happened. And I was like, hey, it's fine. I said the person you've gone with is an amazing actress, so that's great. I'll not tell you who it is. Anyway, but I just think that sometimes things happen for the better. And genuinely, it took about, I think Happy Ending released in October?
November?
Yeah,
November
2014.
2014.
Yes, it was after my birthday, yes. End of November, mid-November, whatever it is. And pretty much a year after that, in September, was when I ended up meeting Tinu for Rustom. And I'd already met with Neeraj twice before. And unfortunately, both those films didn't work out. So I was pretty much expecting disappointment again. So I'm like, the man makes amazing films, but I never end up doing them. So I didn't know what to expect with Rustom. All I knew was that it was, I don't even know whether it was intense, but I just knew that it was a film that was sort of backed by Neeraj, and it was with Akshay in the lead. And I still remember speaking to my manager, and I'm like, do I have to dress up for this meeting, or can I just come chilled? And she's like, no, you gotta dress up. So I was like, okay. And I'm so glad I did, because when he started narrating the script, I had pretty much tuned off in my head. I was like, I don't know what to expect. But it was amazing. It was so amazing. It had me hooked right from the beginning. And Tinu was so sweet. Like halfway through the interval point, he's like, आपको जाना है, जल्दी है या मैं जल्दी बोल दूँ या थोड़ा time लेके बोल रहा है. Take all the time you want. I don't care. I'm not leaving till you tell me every detail about this film. There was just this. I don't know whether it was the way he was narrating it, but there was this lovely sort of intensity about it. It was so real. There was so much I could feel. Although he was just telling me scenes. It's not an easy job to narrate a film. But it was just, I was genuinely shocked that I was being offered such an amazing film. I was like, after so many films coming to me that were so rubbish, I was like, I'm shocked that people are actually making good films. And I was like, I don't care what it takes. I don't care if I don't even get paid for this thing. I have to do the film. It's amazing.
Why did that happen?
Did you know about this?
It was a 100 crore film and you made your mark with Barfi.
Sorry, I just recognized.
So why did this happen?
I haven't had enough coffee. Barfi, 100 crore film, yeah.
So then, people were expected to see you in more such type of films, performance-oriented ones.
In a way, I find that such a bad thing to say, performance. It kind of feels like you're trying to say that, my other films didn't have any performance whatsoever and I was sleepwalking through
They are
it.
different then.
Sorry?
They are different then.
More content heavy.
Yeah.
Again, it's sort of vague. I suppose, yeah, some films, you can't always do these serious, heavy sort of films. Barfi could have come across as a very heavy film, but it did have like a certain sort of funny factor to it. I was offered serious films after that, and again, like I said, some of them just didn't work out. And I ended up doing more commercial sort of films, and it's honestly a coincidence. I don't have a plan in place where I'm like, Acha, my next film is going to be this sort of film, my third film is going to be this sort of film. It just sort of happened, I was just like, okay, at this moment it seems like a good film to do, let's just do it. So the same thing, like when Barfi came my way, I was like, yeah, it seems like an interesting film. I'd never done a film like that in the past. But I just felt, you know what, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, who knows. And it worked for me. So I think it's the expectation that people expect you to do this. Now some people probably expect me to do more films like Main Tera Hero. So you can't really satisfy everybody in one go, but...
in short, you want to see you doing more films.
Okay. No, but that's pretty much it, honestly. I think every film that I've done though, I've done it with my whole heart, and I'm like, every time I've signed the film, I know that it's been like, yes, I really want to do this. It's never been a half-hearted decision.
Did you read about Rustom? Did you know?
Not at all. I knew nothing about what to expect from the film. In fact, I asked my manager, what is Rustom? And she's like, it's a film coming up with Akshay. I was like, oh really? And then I googled it and I found nothing, and I'm like, okay. I said, do I need to go in with like any sort of mental preparation? Will they ask me questions? She's like, no, just go in there, like listen to the story and tell me what you think. And I'm like, okay. And I was blown away. I was literally blown away because I find it a certain kind of, it's a little flattering when someone offers you, not a little, very flattering, when somebody offers you a film and a role especially that's got so much depth, that's got so much scope to really perform, that I just feel super flattered that people actually believe I can pull it off. Now when I signed Rustom, I had no confidence that I could pull it off. I was like, I really hope I can do this, I hope I can do this. And in fact, Akshay keeps going on, he's like, you need to have a lot more confidence in yourself, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. I said, in a way, maybe it's good that I don't have that much confidence, because that can sometimes lead to overconfidence. But I love the challenge, I love the not knowing whether I'll be able to pull it off. I strangely like the nerves that gets my stomach in knots before I do a scene, and I don't care that it took me, a year and a half to do this film. I'm just so glad I did it. So I mean,
doing films like, after doing films like, Mehta Hero, do similar roles, was similar roles offered to you?
Yeah, I think so. But again, it's going to be like a nice, like say Mehta Hero was one of those comedies where you sort of just like put your brain on like standby mode for a bit, because it's just an easy sort of comedy where you can just sit back, have a great laugh and go back home. And there's got to be a nice balance, strangely, when you're doing this film, because it can be stupidly illogical, where it's going nowhere, and it's just like kind of force laughter out of you, because comedy is not easy. And I had a great actor to back on. Like Varun was a brilliant actor to back on. We had an amazing cast. We had David Dhawan, the god of films like that. So it was a good combination. So I think I was just choosy. Now I really don't remember the films that were offered to me, all of them. But I just know that at that moment I definitely didn't feel confident enough to do it. So
sometimes most of your films, or all of your films, have been with important or major stars among the heroes. You have not done so. Is that a conscious part of selecting a film for you?
True, in a way, of course, yeah, it is true, because you need someone to back the film, and not a great thing for an actor to say, but I'm not sure if I can carry a film just on my own right now. Again, I mean, for me, every film is sort of like a learning experience, and I go into it going, okay, I hope I can pull this off. At the end of the day, I look at my director's face and I'm like, were you happy? And he's like, yeah, I was happy. And that's like a sort of like a success for me. But I think one day I'd love to do a film that's probably just banked on me, but I'd need that director to sort of support me. But I think for now, I think it's good to sort of establish yourself with really strong actors. I had that with Varun, I had that with Saif, and Ranveer.
When do you get more nervous? When you sign the film, or when the film is about to release?
Tricky. I think definitely when I sign the film. Because once it's about to release, it's like, I'm done. Now I can't do anything more about it. It's like it's done. It's shot for whatever. But definitely when I sign the film, because then it's like I have committed that I'm going to do this. And to an extent, you're sort of signing there saying that I will do this role to the best of my ability. And I would hate leaving set looking at my director's face where he looks completely disappointed in me. So I used to harass Tino to another level. I was like, are you sure it's okay? Are you sure it's okay? Are you sure it's okay? And there were so many times when he'd okay to take, but I was like, no, I said, you can't okay the take. I didn't feel it. I didn't do one more. So it was a beautiful sort of release in a way. I mean, when we were doing the dubbing, I hate dubbing firstly. I think it's just so bizarre, standing in a little room and watching yourself on a screen, and especially for me, I had so much emotion into the film. There was a lot of scenes where I was crying, and in the actual shooting process, I was actually crying. And when you're actually crying, it's like half of your words don't make sense because you're just mumbling and you're not making sense, and there's so many of these breaths that you're taking in between. And I said, how the hell am I going to do this? And the strangest thing happened. Tino was with me throughout, which is amazing. But I actually started crying in the dubbing studios, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, this is such an emotional scene, I need to cry a little bit. But I think it was just, I mean, I don't know, I think he's happy, like Tino's happy, Akshay is very happy. I still haven't seen the film. I don't know what to expect from the film. For me, I felt this amazing sort of feeling when I was filming for it. And there's a lot of sincerity in the film. There's a lot of honesty in the scenes. I can only talk for my scenes, but the scenes with Akshay and me especially. And I've never seen Akshay in a role like this. This really sort of devoted husband, this patriot or whatever. But just the emotional sort of level that he's brought into this film is something else. I've never seen a man cry before. He can really cry. Like, it's shocking. I was like, shit, you're a good crier, man. Like, he can really cry. Yeah, like there were scenes where we just break down, the two of us. We had to console each other before we could move on to the next take. So I love the fact that there was a lot of emotion, like genuine emotion in it. It wasn't like one of those films where you just put glycerine in and squeeze out a few tears, and take it.
What are the kinds of films that impress you as a watch when you're watching them as an audience?
I'm not a very heavy film watcher. I watch reruns of Friends and I watch Shrek and I know because I like to tune off.
The rerun has just started, Friends.
Yes, I know. I watched the whole thing and I watched the reruns again. So I'm terrible. But I watch cooking shows. I mean, I'm pretty hopeless. I really don't watch a lot of movies. And it's no offense. I mean, I do want to watch. I have not watched Fault in Our Stars. I've heard so much about it. I have the film with me. I still haven't watched it. So I think for me, I do like watching a lot of intense films. I think what would impress me is maybe a great performance in a film. I do honestly, strangely look for actual tears when it comes to emotional scenes, and I love, like, if I think a person can move me to tears, then yeah. But I like simple stories. That sort of impresses me. I think the one film that I'm so fond of is About Time. Again, I watch a lot of English films, which again I get a lot of flack for from Akshay. He's like, she only watches English films. But it was so beautiful. There was something so simple about it. It was just about family. It was just about, just that simplicity. A normal guy, and I'm a sucker for love and love stories. So.
But when you are a sucker for love, you play a character in Rustom who actually goes a little astray in her relationship. She's married to somebody, she falls for someone else on the sidelines.
Apparently.
It's very evident in the promo.
Apparently. We don't know what it is really.
So the point is that when you play such a character, and you, all of us, I mean, have been in relationships on and off, how difficult does it get for you to relate to a character like that? Because in relationships, none of us want to be betrayed.
True,
right?
Very true. It's kind of a tricky situation. Like, I have been cheated on before, so I know the feeling on the other side. But to actually do the act, if she has done it, that is, was a bit tricky because more than anything, it wasn't the actual, doing the cheating part or whatever. It was more the after bit. That was the really tricky part. And for me to sort of envision it, what I do is I put myself in a situation where I'm like, who's the one person I just don't want to lose? And what if I'm this close to losing them? What would I do? So I would put myself through this emotional hell, and I would just bawl on set. Like there were scenes where it was just me, and I was just crying my eyes out. And I remember scaring one of my poor assistants on set because she wasn't expecting me to start crying like that. And it depends. Sometimes it's tricky, but I think if you're emotionally there, if you can, and I've got a wild imagination, so if you're emotionally there and if you can put yourself in that scenario, and there are a lot of people in my life where I really don't want to lose. So if I tell myself that this is the one person that I don't want to lose, and what would I do to hold them back, or that helplessness, or I think that sort of gets you there to a certain extent. And plus I had Tino. Tino was great. Tino was like, sometimes he would just sit with me and I used to be like, okay, run me through it really quickly. What have I done? And he's like, okay, you did this, you did this, you did this, you did this, and now you're at this situation. What are you going to do? And by the time he's reached the end, I'm tears all over again. So I'm quite a crybaby. But yeah.
There's something about your looks in the film. It's been appreciated.
I felt really weird watching myself on screen, honestly. Like I saw, I haven't cut my hair this short since college. So firstly, it was that. Secondly, the hair was so different. It was like a black haircut. I had like black hair as well. So it just felt a little like, oh my god, is that me? That looks a little weird. And I wasn't sure what people were going to think. And I wasn't even in Bombay when the trailer released. Yeah, so I didn't know what to expect. So when I came back, I had a few people tell me, like, oh, we really like it. It's kind of like an insult to my teeth because I know how hard they work. But this is just me. I find it very... I can't look at myself on screen. I find it very strange, very, very odd. And even in Barfi, I found it odd. I was like, all that long hair and the black and all of that. I was like, damn. Bindi's okay. But just the long hair and stuff. And it's pretty much the same. So... I know that they've done an amazing job. Amira, who's done costumes, has been fantastic. She's like boss lady on set. I call her boss lady. She's super particular about everything and everybody's costume, and they did most of the work really. I just put the emotional aspect into it, and like the looks took a while. We did about 5 look tests. I think we tried a few wigs on, but it didn't work. I look like an old lady actually. I look terrible. And then eventually I just told the director, I said, why don't I just cut my hair? And he was like, why do you want to cut your hair? And I was like, let's just cut it, man, it'll work. And he's just like, he was worried that I was just going to chop my hair off and I was going to regret it. And I was like, I'm fine, I don't mind chopping my hair off, it's fine.
Recently in an interview, you had said that you had lost all the hope of good films coming your way. Why did you say that?
To an extent, yeah, I think I went through a little phase, a small phase, but when I say lost all hope, it's not like I was brooding at home. It was like, I just accepted it. You know, I mean, I'm not the sort of person who's gonna sulk and just be like, oh, my life has come to an end. No, it's just like, you know what, I just assume that I don't really have a lot of films coming away. Let's accept reality. Right now I'm not doing anything. It's been a few months. It's been the longest time I haven't worked. And I just felt that, okay, if it's the last film, at least it's kind of ironic that my last film was called Happy Ending. So, you know, hey, that's kind of cool. I left it at that, literally. And I was just like, everyone was like, you disappeared. And I was like, well, I was home. I'm not going to sit cooped up at home. I'm used to my huge family. My mom was in America. I went over there to visit her. I went all over the place. So,
What next? Rustom.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
It was a Meeraj actually. I met Tino.
But when the whole discussion happened, weren't you also a top choice for a role in MS Dhoni's biopic?
Yeah.
We spoke about Dhoni, Neeraj and me, but there wasn't really.
Sakshi's cut is what I heard.
Yeah, no. Sakshi's cut. No. I don't even know, because honestly we had like a half an hour chat and that's it in his office. And Neeraj is very sort of, I think it's a very sensitive film. I don't know anything about the film really. I don't know anything about Dhoni as well, because I'm not that into cricket. So I told him, look, I don't know a lot. And then he wasn't very willing to share a lot about the film, understandably. And we sort of just left it as an easy sort of understanding. I was like, maybe we'll do another film where we can really, I prefer hearing the whole story before I do it. And I think after doing a film like Happy Ending, which I expected to work but didn't work, I was more particular about hearing what I'm getting into. And he completely respected that. So we have this lovely sort of we respect each other relationship, because special champions didn't work. This didn't really lead up to anything, but I'm glad we did Rustom.
Ileana, what next? What's next for you after this?
What next for me is I'm kind of superstitious. I know Milan's already announced it, so yeah, Badshah is something that I'm super excited about. But I'm just
you and Isha again together.
I know, right? That's so weird. I was literally talking to Milan about it, and he's like, "Oh, we're getting Isha for this one." I was like, "Isha who?" They said, "Isha Gupta." And I was like, "Are you fucking serious? Oh my god!"
How much do you have together in this film, and how many scenes you have?
In this film, can't tell you too much, but yes, we do have a fair amount of scenes in this film. There's like an equation at least in this film. With Badshah, there may be something I can tell you later.
You're excited to team up with Ajay?
Sorry?
Excited to team with Ajay?
I'm actually the most excited about Milan, really. I think Milan's a fantastic director, and I kind of always wanted to work with him as well. So we had a very chance meeting on the set of Rustom, and he's like, "Oh, I'll call you," and I was like, "Yeah, okay." I figured it was just a thing that every director says, "Yeah, we should work together." And I didn't hear from him for 3 months, and then he just calls me up out of the blue, and I was like, "Okay, I can meet you next week." We meet up, and right then and there, I'm like, "Awesome, I'm on."
When do you start shooting?
Don't know. It's gonna be a while. But like I said, I'm superstitious. Until I sign on that contract, I won't be like, "Yes, I'm doing the film." But yes, he's announced it, in touch wood, everything goes well, and I hope to be a part of Badshah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.